Hi, my name is Brad Thomas. Welcome to Discovering Your Greatness, the video series companion to my book, The Greatness Revolution. 1 billion heartbeats. This is a lifetime, not just for humans. The lifespan of humans, amphibians, birds, fish, mammals, and reptiles, when counted in heartbeats, is 1 billion on average. Humans live 65 years on average, hamsters 3 years, and Arctic whales 150 years. The hamster can have a heart rate of up to 450 beats per minute. The whale, as little as 10 beats per minute, thus explaining the difference in the number of years they live. But the number of heartbeats in a lifetime on average is about 1 billion. These findings come from the Kleiber ratio, named after Swiss-born Max Kleiber, a professor and researcher at UC Davis. Kleiber based his ratio on metabolic rates in various animals. A hamster's metabolism is much faster than an Arctic whale's, but on average, the number of heartbeats over a lifetime remains the same, 1 billion. Scientists speculate different sentient life forms experience time differently because of this phenomenon. A fly, which only lives about 24 hours, seems to move rapidly when we brush it away. To us, the fly's movement seems rapid because our metabolic rate and our heart rate is slower than the fly's. But to the fly, does the hand coming at it seem to be moving much more slowly because the fly has such a high metabolic rate? If this speculation is correct, then time flows differently for each life. Perhaps each life has a unique rhythm, and each must live that rhythm. Time flow differs from time management, just as being productive differs from being busy. Doing things won't create success. Doing the right things efficiently and with proper timing creates success. Having a full calendar does not guarantee success. Having a calendar with rhythm brings success. Thinking time flow versus time management requires the shift. Remember, in the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu writes, "The highest good is like water. Water gives life to the 10,000 things, and yet does not compete with them. It flows in places that the mass of people detest, and therefore is it close to the way." Elsewhere we read, "Be still like a mountain, and flow like a river." There is a unique flow to our existence. One day in class, I was directing an activity with my students. I can't remember the topic. I was holding a roll of masking tape in my hand, and I was sitting on a student desk in the front row of the class facing the students. The roll of masking tape accidentally slipped out of my hand, fell to the floor, and rolled all the way down the aisle to the back of the room near my teaching desk. I watched it slowly roll to the back and finally fall over, twirling faster and faster until it lay flat on the ground. At that moment, the Tao principle, "Be still like a mountain and flow like a river," came to my mind. I decided to practice the principle. As students continued to work, I fixed my eyes and mind on the roll of masking tape. Sitting in the front of the room on the desk, I began to meditate on a phrase, "Return to me." I did not know how the tape would return to me. I only knew I was going to be still like a mountain and let my mind flow like a river. I saw the masking tape in my hand. I meditated upon this for about a minute or so. Suddenly, a student in one of the desks near me stood up, walked to the back of the room, picked up the masking tape, and walked with it to the front of the room and handed me the tape. I had not moved. I had not asked the student or any student to do anything. I simply meditated on the tape, thinking, "Return to me." I know it's a silly example, but it raises the idea that there is, as an ancient book reads, a season for everything and a time for every purpose under heaven. Though I had to wait a few more seconds, the masking tape returned to me in time without me moving or forcing anything. In the 1972 musical Pippin, the protagonist sings a song entitled "Corner of the Sky." He sings, "Everything has its season. Everything has its time. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. Put another way, everything has its rhythm. including us, with our 1 billion heartbeats on this earth. Daily rhythm transforms us over time. First our actions, then our minds, and finally, our hearts. Our daily rhythm determines who we are and who we're becoming. Despite the advances in technology and what seems to be an ever-increasing, rapidly changing world, the human rhythm remains the same, deeply embedded in our existence for thousands of years. Plant, cultivate, harvest. This rhythm coincides with the various tools we employ to discover our greatness and live our dreams. Plant, the shift and a vision of the dream. Cultivate, daily desire, determination, and disciplined activity. Harvest, manifesting greatness and the dream. Remember the Chinese proverb earlier that reads, "Be not afraid of going slowly, be afraid only of standing still"? It's easier to take one action every day for a week than to take 7 all at once. People who do the first build a solid foundation. People who do the second don't. Why? Momentum. After 6 days of doing nothing, they must start all over again. They live the myth of Sisyphus, caught in the valley, unable to move their dream beyond, rather than understanding that life is a series of hills on which we gradually flow downhill at an ever-increasing rate toward our dreams. For example, which is better? Exercising 20 minutes a day, 6 days a week, or exercising 120 minutes on Monday? The answer is obvious. And remember, walk in your greatness and have a great day.